the Garden of Four Winters. In a quiet valley where the mountains meet the mist, four friends lived side by side. They were not children, but trees, rooted deep in the rich earth. While the world was still shivering in the tail end of winter, Setsu, the plum tree, felt a stir in her roots. While the other trees remained gray and bare, Setsu began to wake. She didn't wait for the sun to grow hot. She simply knew it was her time. Saku, the cherry tree, watched Setsu from across the garden path. Setsu was covered in white blossoms that smelled like spice and honey. Saku looked down at her own branches, which were still dark and skeletal. "Why am I so slow?" Saku whispered to the wind. "Setsu is already beautiful, and I am just a tangle of sticks." Setsu didn't boast. She simply held her blossoms high against the cold breeze. Days passed, and the snow melted into the soil. Seiku felt a deep sadness in her sap. She tried to force her buds to open, squeezing her branches tight, but nothing happened. She felt a failure. Every morning, the mountain birds would land on Setsu to sing, ignoring Saku entirely. Saku felt invisible, convinced she would never be as wonderful as the early blooming plum. Beneath Saku's branches, Momoko the peach tree was starting to change. Tiny green tips appeared on Momoko's twigs. Saku sighed. "Even Momoko is moving faster than me. Soon, the whole valley will be a parade, and I will be the only one left behind." Momoko looked over with a gentle rustle of her wood. "We are all drinking from the same earth, Saku," Momoko said, "but our hearts beat to different drums." Then, as if a secret signal had been sent from the sun, Saku's branches exploded. It happened almost overnight. Pale pink petals, soft as silk, unfurled in thousands. Saku was no longer a tangle of sticks. She was a cloud of soft light. The valley transformed. People came from far away just to stand under Saku's canopy and watch the pink snow of her falling petals. While Saku basked in the warmth of the sun and the praise of the visitors, Anzu the apricot tree stood quietly at the edge of the grove. Anzu was still bare. Saku's pink petals drifted over and landed on Anzu's brown bark. Anzu felt a pang of envy. "I am the last one," Anzu thought. "The plum has finished, the cherry is a queen, and even the peach is turning pink. I must be broken." Anzu tried to copy the way Saku's branches curved. She tried to think pink thoughts, hoping it would make her flowers grow. But the more Anzu compared herself to Saku, the more frustrated she became. Her bark felt tight and itchy. She was so busy looking at the others that she didn't notice the unique strength of her own wood or the deep reach of her own roots. Momoko, the peach tree, finally reached her peak. Her blossoms were a deep, vibrant rose color, different from the pale pink of the cherry. She looked at Anzu, who was drooping. "Anzu," Momoko whispered, "look at the sky. It isn't just one color all day. It changes when it's ready. You aren't late. You are simply waiting for your own perfect moment." Finally, when the air turned truly warm and the other trees were starting to grow their green leaves, Anzu bloomed. Her flowers were a breathtaking white with a blush of red at the center, standing out against the now green valley. They were sturdy and bright, lasting long after the cherry blossoms had vanished. Anzu realized she wasn't a late cherry tree, she was a perfect apricot tree. The four friends stood together, each having taken their turn to shine. They understood now the lesson of Oubaitori, the cherry, the plum, the peach, and the apricot. None was better than the other, and none was behind. Like the four trees, every living thing has its own season, its own color, and its own way to bloom. They stopped looking at each other's branches and started simply enjoying the sun.